Hey guys, how we doing? I want to have a quick chat about fair time and finances because this is something that not a lot of people talk about. Like nobody talks about it. We're gonna talk about it. I had somebody asking. We were talking something financial and some. Oh man, we're starting already strong. Getting morning chores done here before I get out to the fairgrounds. Having extra spending money for something, and I can't remember what it was, and I was like, I cannot do that right now because I am financially tapped out. She gonna be tight now until September, okay? Because we have a fair in July and we have a fair in August. I have one child that's showing this year. I want you to keep this in mind when we're talking about the finances and how much this whole hobby costs. One child. Now, keep in mind that many of these families, my Corso's trying to wipe his face on me. Get away from me, sassy butt. A lot of these farm families have many children. Not like it used to be, but still. So they have more than one child doing this. Okay, so let's talk about what that looks like. So when you go to a fair, okay, and you're seeing all the animals, and there's chickens and ducks and rabbits, and then you have the bigger stuff, the horses, steer, goats, lambs. You see all of these animals out there. The amount of money that it takes to get these kids out there and get them showing is way more than what a lot of people think. It's a lot more than a lot of these kids think. I know a lot of parents, and I was hearing this conversation. I was overhearing it yesterday. There was a parent that was like, I know it's been hard. I'm behind on my electric bill. Now my electric bill is going to, I'm going to have to break it into payments because, little Susie she has no idea, how much this takes for me to get her out here and da-da-da. I don't like lying to my kids. I'm very open with my kids about this stuff. So like Jordan knows. I've been like, girl, things are tight around here. Like we're going to have to strip it down because it's not easy. It's not cheap to do this. I'm not going to say it's a rich man's game, but it ain't a poor man's game unless you can figure out, and I am poor, but Dave Ramsey it to come up with extra money. Like you got to do something to come up with it. And I'll tell you why. Okay, so if you're going to these fairs, a lot of these fairs will say that your children have to stay on the premises for the animals to stay there, right? So you see these animals in the stalls. A lot of these fairs have the stipulation of the child then has to camp out there for the week. A lot of these fairs are like a week long. Ours is Thursday through Sunday. In August, the state fair is Sunday to Sunday, I think. So you have to camp there. That means you need a camper. Okay. I don't know if you've seen campers. You can get like a cheap, she leaks, the frame is rotting out the bottom for like $800, all the way up to, if you know, some of these RVs with 10 slide outs and is $100,000 RV. I'm not even joking. Probably more than that, honestly. Most people fit somewhere in the middle, but you have to have a camper. Maybe you can borrow a camper and, let someone will let you borrow it. That's getting more and more difficult. A lot of people are like, no, I don't let anybody use my camper. Nobody gets to use it because I don't want it ruined or whatever. Valid, and I totally get it. So there's that. Okay, you don't get to camp for free. Nobody camps for free, right? So let's say $40 a night. Now that's bare boning it. That's like at this fair or small fair, I think it ends up working out to like almost $40 a night if you want a site and it's, got all the things. But like up at the state fair, several $100s to be able to camp up there for a week. Okay, fine. Now, this isn't even, that's just getting there. Now, for these kids to get in, they have to pay for wristbands, weekly passes of wristbands, okay? And they're not walking in by themselves. So now at least one parent, but probably two parents, also have to buy the weekly wristbands. It doesn't seem like much, but I'm going to tell you how this is adding up. Now each child, let's say you have 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids showing in 4-H, all of them need the weekly wristbands. Yes. And then you have to pay per class that the child wants to show in. There's entry fees for every single class. We're adding up here. You see how we're going? What else? And that's just to show there. Just to show there. And if you're camping there, you know your kids are going to be like, can we get a funnel cake? Can we get an elephant ear? Can I get some cotton candy? Can I go on this ride, that ride? I'm not saying pig out every day on the Midway, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable that I need to hit the Midway up because your girl, she's got to eat, and it's got to be fair food because that only comes once a year. Okay, so we've gotten that figured out. Now let's talk about how much these animals costs. Okay, costs, whatever. If you're showing a market project, a goat, a lamb, a steer, rabbits now are on the market animal thing. You have to purchase this animal, and long gone are the days. I've been going to this fair for 35 years. It used to be you would walk out into your pasture and you'd be like, oh my gosh, that one, I want to take that one from your own pasture that you probably bred yourself. Those days are gone. Okay, now for the most part, kids are going to the same breeders that everyone has recognized the name now forever for knowing that they've got top stock, that you can be extremely competitive, and you know you're going to finish in the top top 10. You know how much that costs? Ooh. Some kids are dropping $1,000 per animal, if not more. Yeah, and then you have to feed that animal too. You got to feed that thing if you're doing just a market project. Let's say you get it in March or April. You got to feed that out until August. The amount of food these market animals eat is unbelievable. They're eating machines, and you want them gaining muscle and strength and power. And where do you get that? High quality, high protein feed. Is not a joke. Then you got to talk about, you got to muck out stalls, so you got to get bedding. You have to make sure that you're that they're okay on medications like vaccinations. Then you got to pray to the Lord baby Jesus that it doesn't get sick, because now you're going to have vet costs incurred on top of this. If you're not doing a market animal, if you like say you show horses and that's your horse, your child's probably taken lessons if they want to be competitive. Let's not even talk about the price of a horse. And that you're keeping 24/7, 365. It's not a market animal. So you see where I'm going? Like, I am all about 4-H, and I think it's amazing, and I think every child should have the experience to be in 4-H, to be in showing animals. You're not going out there to find a lady. It's like the dating game in here. I'm for it. I think it's amazing for kids. I think it turns out better kids. I think they end up being better adults. I'm for it. I'm just saying it is not cheap, and it's a commitment. And so when you go to your fair and you're walking around and you see the kids and they're smiling and they're out there and they're doing great, and then find their parents. You can probably find the parents by looking at the mom's faces, because they look like this, because they're stressed out and they're probably really hot and sweaty and broke. We're all broke. We're all poor now, especially. But it's good, and I encourage everybody to do it. So lock in, stay committed, get your finances sorted, and get your kid in 4-H, man. Like, get them out there, get them doing it. Teaches them responsibility, the value of a good work ethic, teaches them financial balance, and get the moms some Prozac or Xanax or Ativan or something, because a bottle of wine, she's going to need it.